Today we have quite a different video from me. It's something that I've been kind of thinking about for a while but kept pushing off because, you know, other things have just come up. However, Hourglass is one of my favorite brands. I think they are high quality, luxury, worth every penny. Very expensive, but worth it in my opinion. Not every brand has perfect products, but in my opinion, Hourglass is up there with consistency. And I have realized just by chance that I actually have quite a lot of products that I think are very similar, that I've just kind of thought throughout the months and years. And so with that, I'm actually going to make a video of dupes for Hourglass. So we're going to do my makeup while we talk about it. So I'm going to use all the products on my face are going to be the drugstore cheaper options, but I have all of the Hourglass products to show you. I think I'm just missing, the only thing that I'm going to apply that's Hourglass is a mascara, but I'm going to talk to you about a drugstore option that I have used before that I find comparable. So let's get straight into it. So let's start with primer. This is the Mineral Primer Veil. It's very popular, and the reason why this is so popular, I'll also say I work at Mecca, which sells Hourglass, so I know this brand quite extensively. I've used all their products, so I just want to put that into perspective as well. So I'm very well versed to Hourglass, and I love it, which I said. So the Mineral Veil, why it's so popular, it's one of those all-rounder products which is very hard to dupe because it's got SPF 15, it's color correcting, it's smoothing, and it is sweat resistant. So it's one of those primers I recommend to customers that just want an all-in-one kind of product, and I'll show you why. This is going to be a long video because I'm going to show everything. See how it goes kind of blue and then disappears? That is the color correcting, and then it's very, very slippery and smoothing. So with that, I couldn't find something that has all of those features because I don't even know if it exists in drugstore that has all of those features. If there is one, please let me know because I'd love to try it. But for me, the one that I felt that looks, when you apply makeup, has the same, most similar effect, it is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. And the reason why I say that is because this is smoothing and blurring, and it really helps with when makeup is put over the top, and I feel like they're very comparable. So we're going to go in with my Ordinary. I've almost finished, so I'm glad I'm doing this video now. So you don't need a lot. It even has a similar color. If you use too much of this, it can get a little bit cakey, so definitely use just a little bit. And I'm targeting my T-zone and then just blending it out. I'll have everything linked down below. I'll have all the dupes linked below, and then I'll just link Hourglass's page on Mecca. Okay, so I also forgot to mention, because, you know, memory of a sieve, I have a few Australian dupes here because I am Australian. However, I am going to mention what I would compare as an alternative American option, or I should say worldwide option. So yeah, so even though I'll put on my face, I've only got a couple of things that are Australian on my face, I do have, I can either tell you or show you an alternative that is accessible for Europeans and American. So let's go on to foundation. I'm going to dupe the Vanish foundation. So this one here is too dark for my skin right now. This is my Morphe tan shade in Linen, and this is a full buildable full coverage, a medium to full coverage. It is matte and it is long wear. So I have worn both because I have both in my hand, and I would compare it to the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. They are both that medium to full coverage, matte, long wear performance, and this is a more suitable color to me right now. It might even be too light. What I might do is actually add one pump of this in because they're very similar in my opinion. This one is close to 100 Australian dollars. I can't remember the price of this, but like I said, I'll have the things linked down below as well. I just complained about this in a recent video that there's no pump with these. It really annoys me. But what are you gonna do? So let's see if this is too light. It might be just the tiniest bit too light. So I'm just gonna add 1 pump of the Hourglass, and we're just gonna put that on. Okay, so I've done like more of a medium coverage there, which is what I want, but yes, you could go in with more if you want it more full coverage. And then one of my favorite dupes of today, I have a couple, but this is probably one of the ones that inspired this whole video, is the concealer. So the Hourglass Vanish Concealer is one of my holy grail concealers. I only have a few, and the dupe of this is also one of my holy grail concealers. So I use the shade Creme, and the color match is undeniable for these two. So if you are fair like me and you like a pinkier toned concealer, this is it. So I'm going to show you side by side. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, they're both full coverage. They are the same color and they perform the same. It is insane. And this is something towards between $5 and $10. I just scratched my nose with this and I'm so sorry. Oh no. And then this is 50-ish Australian dollars. So very big difference here. And they are both holy grails for me. So this is probably my favorite dupe today. So I will show you on my hand how similar they look. I would say Hourglass is a thicker consistency. Okay, so the shade looks tiny bit different. So here we have Flower Beauty is a little bit more beige, pink, and then this is the Hourglass here. So Hourglass is probably a little bit more brightening, but to me they perform just so evenly. Probably better I'm using this one today because I went too dark on the foundation. And yes, a nice thin formula, blends beautifully. I love this concealer so much. I'm gonna run out soon and I will definitely buy another one. There are certain products that you want to repurchase when you have a lot of makeup, and that is going to be one of them. So I have 3 Holy Grail concealers and that is 2 of them. If you want to know what my third one is, the Jouer Essential High Coverage. I love it. I just love it. It looks so, for something that's full coverage, it looks really nice and natural. I would honestly deem this more a medium to full. I wouldn't say it's a traditional full. Hourglass is definitely full. It's just got that little bit more thickness to make it full coverage. But still both outstanding products. Okay, let's move on to my setting powder. I don't use a lot of setting powder, so we're gonna do it in this stage, and then the rest, I don't have any cream products. So this is empty. I just finished this. It wasn't full when I got it. This is the translucent setting powder Veil, and holy moly, this powder is phenomenal because it's got a luminosity to it. So if you have drier or mature skin, this is the powder for you. However, it's also very expensive. So in a dupe form, and I find it to be very similar, both very high quality powders, but this one is a tenth of the price. So this is the e.l.f. Why can't I speak? The e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. So this is the luminous one. And I wish I could have shown you what this looked like, but you probably wouldn't be able to see the powder on my hand anyway. This powder is phenomenal and definitely a really true dupe in the fact that it's luminous, it's very finely milled, and it just looks gorgeous on the skin without being shiny. So it's hard to do a luminous powder without looking shiny. So I'm using the e.l.f. one, obviously. And I'm just gonna do that in my T-zone, because we've still got the finishing powder to use as well. I love powders that aren't too mattifying. Absolutely gorgeous, probably can't see on camera, but trust me. Okay, so I have two brows because Hourglass has a whole collection. They have the brow mascara, the gel. They have the like triangle tip, fatter one for people with bigger eyebrows, and then they have the micro tip. So they have 3 different types, and I can dupe 2 of them. Actually, I do have a dupe for the gel. I just don't have it with me because I gave it to my mum. Okay, so the dupe for the gel, they have fibers in them. The Essence Make Me Brow also has fibers in them. It's more of a drier formula. It's not too wet, which is just like the Hourglass one. You don't want it to be too wet because then it gets all up on your skin. It's not fun. They are very comparable. I liked the formula, but it was too dark for me, so I gave mine to my mum who has dark brows. So I have used both and they are very comparable. See, I have used these products, I just don't have them on hand with me. For the micro pencil, I would dupe for Hourglass in a global brand is the NYX. And I've used lots of drugstore brow pencils. I finished my NYX one, so I'll show you a picture here. I only finished it recently. I've used CoverGirl, I've used Maybelline, and yes, they're good. But they are not dupes because they're too pigmented. The Hourglass brow products are not too pigmented, and so they look more natural. And so for that, I would say NYX over CoverGirl and Maybelline. I love them all, but NYX just had that little bit less pigment to make it look a little bit more natural and a little bit more waxy. So that would be my dupe for that. But I found that in the Australian brand Ulta 3 are really good dupes. I have the dupe for this size and also the micro brow. And this is the shade Soft Brown, which Hourglass also has a soft brown. I've used the Hourglass brow products, all of them, and I am soft brown, so I'm the same color. And I just find that they're just not that pigmented, which a lot of people don't like. But if you like, Hourglass is a lot more understated beauty, so it is in line with that in that it's more natural. It still defines the eye, still fills it in, but it just looks a little bit more natural. So we're gonna go in with my Ulta 3. And these are a very affordable Australian brand. I think I already have my video on my full face of this Ulta 3 brand. I'll link it up here for you to view if you want to see that. And I just felt like this was a little bit less pigmented, but still really good quality and very similar to the Hourglass. Okay, now we're gonna go straight into bronzer. I don't have the Hourglass bronzer with me. I have used it many times at work, so I know exactly how it performs, and it's got that blend of the ambient lighting finishing powder in it, so it gives that beautiful luminous soft focus effect. So I have, ever since I bought this product, it is Australian, but I have an American version. Really luminous, soft, which is important. And both of these dupes that I have are baked formula, and I think the baked formula is a good comparison when you're looking at dupes for Hourglass powders, because they have that very soft buildable effect. I have the Milani baked bronzer. Now this one is more of a summer shade for me, so I'm not going to use this one today, but it's got that beautiful soft buildable effect. See how it's not too pigmented on my hand, which is perfect to dupe Hourglass with, but it still has a soft luminosity to it without it being glittery or highlightery. I know they're really great words to describe. This would be my worldwide global dupe, because it is a beautiful powder, but it is too dark for me right now, so I'm not gonna wear it. But when I'm fake tanned or in summer, I like to use this. And then the one that I'm gonna use today is the Models Prefer Mineral Powder Soft Touch in Glow 2. So this is a micronized powder that can be used alone or combined to sculpt the face. So I just blend the 3, but here we have like a luminous glow, a soft focus, and a cool bronze. But I just blend them all and they create that perfect bronze look like the Hourglass does, really soft and pretty. So I'm going to use this today. It's more of an appropriate color for me. And can you see how it's just really soft and buildable, just like the Hourglass? And it has, just the same as the Hourglass, the soft focus blend inside of it. I love this bronzer. I call it a bronzer because that's kind of what it becomes when you blend all three. I don't have the Hourglass highlighter or a dupe for it, but I know what would be the dupe and what would be the highlighter that I would pick. And it would be, the Hourglass highlighters are really soft. They're not intense. They're very lit from within, not glittery, not shimmery, very soft focus. Kind of like their finishing powders, but amped up. And I would dupe them with the e.l.f. I'm going to show a picture. I can't remember the exact name, but the very popular e.l.f. highlighter. That's what I would dupe it for. There we go. So my previously matte face is now nice and glowy. This is the kind of bronzer that I like to take on holidays with me because it gives me that beautiful lit from within look. Okay, now we're going to go on to blush. This one was hard for me just because I don't own a lot of drugstore blushes. I had a look at some of the ones that I had and they were too glittery or too shimmery. So it's very hard with Hourglass to dupe because I don't do intense, they do very subtle. So the one that I have, I don't have a color match. It's more of a formula match. So I have the Ambient Lighting Blush in Diffused Heat. And I'm actually going to wear this one today because it's a little bit warmer toned and the eyeshadow I have is very warm toned and my dupe is cool toned. So for that reason, I'm going to wear this one today. So here we have that beautiful ambient lighting powder mixed in with it. So I'm just going to show you. It's very soft and subtle luminosity. So the dupe that I have is from Milani and it is the Color Harmony Pink Play #1. And you can see, I used to have this in my project pan. So it's very well loved. It's cracked, I've repressed it. And it's got that subtle luminosity to it, but it is more cool toned. So I'm not gonna wear this one, but you can see that they're quite similar. They're both very soft and buildable without being shimmery or glittery. So they're quite comparable in formula, but just not in color. I actually have their Ghost, the holiday from, was it 2 years ago now? Oh my God, 2 years ago. The blush palette I got, but they are not shades that you can buy. So luckily I had this single. I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Mood Light. It has cracked. But this one here is really good for fair skin. It's got that pink, so it's brightening. It's good for mature skin. Pink is brightening, and brightening is more youthful. So I love this powder. It is well loved. It's one of those things that it doesn't look used until you are hit pan because it's raised, but it is well loved. So my dupe is actually a loose powder version, and let me tell you, and it's Australian. I've actually got a lot of Australian dupes. I'm really sorry if you're not Australian watching this, but I did do research, and the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette, I'll leave a picture up here, is $8 US, and it is supposedly the most similar dupe. And I did research and many people said the same thing. I have not tried it, but now I want to try it because that sounds fantastic if it is a similar dupe. Like I really want to try it. And then the other one was the Milani Prep Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Face Powder, which sounds exactly like the Hourglass is trying to do, or not trying, is doing. But I don't own those. What I do own is a mineral finishing veil from Models Prefer. And this to me is a spot on dupe. It is loose though, and the packaging is not fantastic. But we're gonna use this today. I'm gonna get my big fluffy brush. No, let's get one that you guys know. This is from BH Cosmetics #1. And I wanna get that all in the brush. I'm just going to brush that all over my face. This is such a beautiful finishing powder. I often forget to use finishing powder, but when I do, I'm really glad that I have. I'm gonna have to re-brush my brows because it makes them go out of place. Just bring that beautiful luminosity. So this one is just one shade, but it does have a slight pink tint to it, very slight. If I compared it to the Hourglass is quite pink, but this does have a little bit of beige in it, which gives you that lovely glow. And this is why I don't need highlighter. Am I looking nice and glowy? I am, you can see it, but it's still very natural. So for eyes, I have the Hourglass Scattered Light. I only have one, and that is in the shade Burnish. And I found a freaking fantastic Australian dupe for this. But in terms of formula, they are similar to the ColourPop Super Shock shadows in the Ultra Metallics. So I have the shade Kush, and they both have that creamy, high pigment consistency texture. So this is the ColourPop Kush, which I would say is comparable to the shade Reflect from Hourglass. I don't own it, I want to own it. And then I'll show you Burnish next to it. Very similar formula. So you can see that they're both pigmented and shimmery. I think even the ColourPop is even more shimmery actually, which is interesting. And then the dupe that I have for this Burnish shade is the Ulta 3 Master Metals Eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Brass. So I have the shade Bronze and I have Brass, but this shade here is quite similar, and they look so similar too. Here is Ulta 3 and here is Hourglass Burnish and then ColourPop Kush. So they are very similar, and today we're going to be wearing the Ulta 3. But the Hourglass Scattered Lights are just stunning. I wish I had more. Maybe I will one day. But for now, I just have that one, which is why you can understand why I wanted a warmer toned blush, because this is very warm toned eyeshadow. And I'm just using my Refa number 2. Might even get my finger on this for intensity. Yeah. I think these retail for like around the $5 mark. They're super affordable. Let's get my ColourPop shadow in Kush and just put a little bit of that in my inner corner. Can't resist an inner corner highlight. And now I don't have an eyeliner because their eyeliners are mechanical gel eyeliners that are like so super thin. I don't have a dupe for it. So I'm just going to use my Essence Kajal in Teddy, just a dark brown. Okay, so for mascara, I have the Hourglass Unlocked, which is their tubing mascara. And this is one of my favorite mascaras. It's phenomenal. But I only have 2 tubing mascaras, this one and the Kevyn Aucoin. However, I have tried the Mecca Max tubing mascara, their new one. I can't remember what it's called. That's really good. It's around $25 from memory. So I would recommend that. And then it's not tubing, but it is similar to tubing, and that is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I've gone through a whole tube of that, so I can vouch for it. I just finished it up, and it's not technically tubing, but it is flake resistant and easy to remove with an oil-free cleanser. So just like your micellar water can easily come off. So that would be my dupe for this, because it's really nice and lengthening and volumizing. And this one is just beautiful. It really, I love the wand on this. Very nice and straight, gives nice natural but elongated lashes. So just love it. It curls my lashes as well. So if you have an issue with curling, but I'm not here to recommend the Hourglass, am I? But I just don't have a drugstore dupe on me, and I can't just go to the shops and buy one. I'm still technically in lockdown for another 3 days. But this video will definitely be up after that. So when you see this video, I'll be free. Probably be having a picnic with my friends. Okay, then last but not least is lipstick. So I have two of the Hourglass Caution? What are they called? Confession, that's right, it doesn't say it on here. But I remember now, they're called Confession lipsticks. I think I have two discontinued shades. I have I Believe, which is a pink. I'm just gonna show you these to swatch next to my dupes. And then I have I Live For, which is like a beautiful orange. So I got an orange and a pink. So these are very pigmented, but creamy. So they have high intensity for long wear, but they are a creamy consistency, which is why it's one of my favorite formulas. See how bright, but they've got a shine to it because they're nice and creamy. So my dupe is my favorite drugstore lipsticks, and they are Maybelline, but this is from the For Me range. So I've got a few different shades because I wasn't sure what color I wanted to wear today. I have Mauve For Me, Ruby For Me, and Fuchsia For Me, and these are all cream. So they're not the matte, they're not the sheer, they are a cream with high pigment intensity. So let me show you my swatches next to the Hourglass so you can see how similar that they are. So here you can see top two are Hourglass and then bottom three are Maybelline. Do they not look the same? They've got the same shine, same pigment. You wouldn't know the difference between the formula unless I told you. So with that, what color am I gonna do, guys? The pink has a bit of warmth to it, so I'm gonna go pink today. Yes, we're going bright. We are going bright. And I've only got a red, orange. I brought the orange. I don't have a lip liner, so let me just conceal my lips. Just do conceal the lip. And I am looking dehydrated from talking too much. How's that for no lip liner? Yeah, she'll do. That really just changed the look, didn't it? I'm very pink now. Okay, so that is everything. Let me know what you think of my dupes. If you have any other recommendations, I would love to know, because duping Hourglass, which is a very expensive brand, can only help everyone else down in the comments. So let me know what you would dupe for any products or anything that I haven't mentioned. So things that I didn't mention are, you know, some of the lip products, some of the other foundations, the eyeliners. I didn't use any of their eyeliners. So yeah, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed my video, and subscribe if you're new here as well. I'd love to have you join us in the community. And that's everything for today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.